Hello everyone, and welcome to Damien's Reviews. Tonight, it's a beer review. What beer am I doing? Well, I'm doing one of the most American beers out there. Budweiser. Alright, and this is a vintage throwback label, by the way. Alright, so Budweiser, introduced in 1876. And it was during that time when German immigrants were migrating to the U.S. and starting their own beer breweries, and Budweiser is one of those that is still around today and has withstood the test of time. So if you have been to a store and you've seen beer, you know Budweiser, because it is a very distinct label. I mean, you really won't confuse Budweiser beer with just about anything else, but it has always had this type of label up until I think it was 1908. The labels were in German, and then they made the labels in English after that. And it has always had this iconic label, and it's always said that this is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of no brand produced by any other brewer which costs so much to brew and age. Our exclusive Beechwood aging produces a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you will not find in any other beer at any other price. The Great American Budweiser Lager Beer. And it has Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewed and canned in the USA, Budweiser the King of Beers, brewed by our original process from the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt. So this beer has a little bit of a special place with me. As a teenager, I used to sneak, wink wink, nudge nudge, this beer, and I'm pretty familiar with its taste. I've drunk it plenty of times, and plus this is one of my dad's favorite beers, so this is a kind of a throwback to when I was young, and also a little bit of a tribute back to my father. I mean, I miss you, man. Love you. Miss you more and more every day. So enough of me yakking on. Let's go and crack this bad boy open and get into the review. Got a great deal on a 3-pack of these 25-ounce cans. You get the extra ounce, the big one. Thanks, Anheuser-Busch InBev. And as always, it goes in the big mug. Alright. Super thick white head. It's clear, it's bubbly, it's nice. I'd say it's a light gold, straw colored. Some maybe argue like pale gold. So yeah, I mean, looks great. So let's go ahead and go with the aroma. One thing you definitely notice about Budweiser is they use polished Vernon rice. You can definitely smell it in the aroma. But you can also smell some barley malt. Definitely yeasty bready, like white bread crust. There's a little bit of hop action going on in the aroma, but not much. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. Cheers. Yep, that's the beer taste I am so accustomed to. So up front, you get a good amount of barley sweetness. And then in the middle, that ricey flintiness kicks in. It's like a steamed white rice flintiness. Then there's also that yeasty breadiness, like some white bread crust. And then to finish it all up, it's got a decent hop bitterness, but it's not like hoppy, but it's got a good hop bite to it. To finish all up, it is very crisp, clean, refreshing. Drinkability is super high and superb. So, I did notice something right off the bat while drinking it. So, although the overall flavor profile is the same, it tastes watered down. Many will claim that Budweiser has been watered down over the years. I can attest to that to a certain extent. Like, the first time I drank Budweiser was back in 2008, and I've had it a few times ever since, I became of legal age of drinking. It seems like the last 5 years or so, it's really become watered down. Like when I had it back in 2015 when I became legally able to drink, tasted just like the way I remembered it back in 2008, the first time I remembered it. But, I tried it a few years ago back in 2016, and then 2017, 2018, 2019, and now 2020. Yeah, it's not really the same. I mean, it's still got more flavor, more body than a Bud Light, but it's definitely watered down. It's not like it used to be. Oh, and I also forgot to go over the ingredients list. Sorry. So it's 145 calories and it's 5% alcohol by volume. The ingredients are water, barley malt, rice, yeast, and hops. So, how would I rate this beer? Well, it is considered an American beer, but yeah, we really stole it from the Germans. Americans, doing what we do best, stealing shit and claiming it as our own. So, it is an excellent representation of the style. It's one that's withstood the test of time. You see it everywhere. I mean, if you've drunk beer before, you've probably had it to some degree or another. You had this or Bud Light. So, I'm going to give it a 91 out of 100, an A minus for the style. I mean, for the style, it's an excellent representation. Nothing really gourmet or exquisite or special, but it is an excellent beer, nonetheless. And this is the kind of beer that you don't really sit on and do deep speculative beer drinking. This is the kind of beer you just shut up and sit down and drink and enjoy. Because this week I pulled 4 10-hour shifts in a row, my only break really being a 1-hour lunch break. So I'm not really wanting a beer to just sit down and do speculative beer drinking after a long, hard week. I just want a beer so I can just sit down and enjoy it and drink it. That's what this is for. And I think many people in America and also around the world drink Budweiser for that reason. So, yes, there's my review. I hope you all enjoyed. Really digging the vintage throwback label. And as always, you all have an excellent one, and cheers.